Good morning. Sergeant First Class Reginald Knight, retired, reporting. Well, the big memorial was held in Arizona yesterday, and Charlie Kirk has been laid to rest. And this is my final day of saying anything about it unless someone says something to me. However, I do have to address a couple of the things that came out of that service. First of all, it had all the bells and whistles of a Soviet style state funeral, pyrotechnics, Lee Greenwood, you know, nothing that really gave the look and feel of a memorial service. Erica Kirk wore white, which is really strange for a grieving widow. But when you understand Turning Point and what they stand for, it makes perfect sense. Everything about that shit show yesterday was designed for propaganda. And to some degree, it worked until after Erica Kirk gave her eulogy. And then CODIS, Donald Trump, stepped up to the podium and started talking about how much he hates his enemies. And he turned it from a memorial into a political hate rally. Now, I have to admit, to some degree, I'm going to give some of these people a bit of grace because Charlie Kirk was born in 95, 30 years after the civil rights movement had ended. But you see, I grew up in Georgia during that civil rights movement. And I think I have told you guys before, when we went to church out of Atlanta, we had to drive like 60 miles into the interior of Georgia every weekend. I would always wonder why we couldn't stop at Burger Chef or McDonald's or even at a gas station to use the restroom. If my brothers or sisters and I had to go to the bathroom, we had to pull on the side of the road. I never understood that until I asked the question and I got the answer I did not expect. As long as I'm alive, I'm not going to let these people twist history. As long as I'm alive, I'm going to tell my children, which I did, and when they have families, I'm going to tell them the things that went down in this country before they're whitewashed and glossed over. And that's what Charlie Kirk was about. Taking something as horrific as state-sponsored terrorism, because segregation, that's what that was, at least to me and my family, and turning it into something that was, oh, it's not so bad. Well, that's the same rhetoric when people joke and says, it's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. And that's why these people are so angry. Because see, now I'll pull off on this side of the road to check my tires, but if I got to go pee, I'm going to the gas station and no one's going to say anything about it. If I want to stop at McDonald's or Burger King, I can do that. But it was commonplace for us to either pack a lunch or just hold our hunger in check until we got to our desired location. Most of the time it was B. You can never know how another person feels through trauma unless you walk in their shoes. And these people will never do that. Born into privilege, even though some of them are poor as Joe's turkey, but there are certain things that they will never experience that I have. It doesn't make me better than them, but it makes me a living reminder to tell future generations of what has happened. That's all I got to say about this Charlie Kirk business. I'm done. Sergeant First Class Reginald Knight, retired, reporting. Have a good day.